Famous Five. Folk drama? Really? Well, whilst nobody's going to put the Famous Five into their top 10 lists of folk horror movies or TV presentations, I think an argument can be made that some of the books in the series, or some of the stories in the series, do represent folk drama. Okay, you've got to get past the whole Enid Blyton thing, and the fact that, of course, all the TV programs have children actors in them, which can be a bit hard to watch. But the stories do have some nice elements. For example, the first one, Five on a Treasure Island. It has a backstory, a story of shipwrecks, lost gold. There's a treasure map, a discovered treasure map. All these elements that feed into a good folk drama. You even have the arrival of the cousins, Julian, Anne and Dick, which feels like the intrusion of the outsiders onto a rural community. And certainly George or Georgina really doesn't welcome them, interfering in her life and her ways. So you do have that element of folk drama in that first story. But you also have the beautiful views of the harbour. They're set in the past, and it really has that detached feeling. It captures that this was the 1950s or sometime around then, and it really does work on that level. You have the island with the ruins on top. You have dungeons. It's just a really, really good story, a nice easy story to watch over an hour. It has the folk. You see the folk everyday lives of the fact they've got to be up early to go and do the fishing. The kids are helping out with their parents. It just encapsulates that way of life where it's so different from the cities. It's so different from the urban areas, different, of course, from our own time. So I think there are elements in the Famous Five which really do capture the essence of folk drama. I'll be mentioning a couple of the others in the series in future videos, and by all means not all of them would really qualify. Some of them are quite bound in their settings and don't carry that extra frisson of something just a bit out of touch, like the shipwreck. I think something like Five on Mystery Moor is another one which I'll be mentioning. So yeah, the 1995 series is tolerable. Yeah, it's quite good. I think it's worth a watch. I've always thought that, and this will be blasphemy to any Enid Blyton fans, but you could do an updated version of the Famous Five, but instead of Georgina being a tomboy, or whatever we're allowed to call them these days, she could be a goth. You could really ramp up the gothic elements of the stories, especially those set in dungeons, castles, misty moors. And Georgina, being a goth, finding it hard to be accepted by the outsiders and her local village, it would be a very similar character to George, but would just bring it up to date and would, of course, give us another opportunity to have a goth on popular TV. I think you could imagine Lydia from Beetlejuice being George in the Famous Five and it working. So just an idea I thought I'd throw out there. I think it'd be worth having a look at these TV series again, and maybe asking, does it merit being called folk drama? I think it does.